Overlord is an isekai about one OP character in an RPG who is transported to an entirely different realm than what he is used to. His name is Ainz Ul Gon, and this show is all about him conquering the new world. There are two reasons why this show is good. One is that the strategies that Lord Ainz employs are impeccable. The second reason is that the anime has clear moral, ethical, and systematic boundaries. The only reason why you might not like this show is because it's quite literally bureaucratic. Don't worry, I'm going to get into exactly what I mean by all of these statements. Just remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. Okay, so Lord Ainz is a master tactician. He knows exactly how many troops he needs to deploy to take out a group of adventurers of whatever certain level. It's actually really fun to watch him outsmart the enemy at each turn. He rarely underestimates his opponent, and he will even use overkill if necessary. He's not afraid of using too much force to bend his enemies to his will. In contrast, Ainz knows the feelings of the NPCs pretty well, and he can gauge their willingness to serve him only after a few interactions. That's one of the things I really like about the show. It isn't needlessly adding tension. Ainz appropriately assesses the situation, and then he executes on that plan quite flawlessly. Overlord doesn't act stupid. The show won't make Ainz look like a complete idiot just because the plot calls for him to do that. The show actually makes sense, which is a rarity in fantasy anime. More than just strategy, Ainz has an amazing aptitude for negotiations and diplomatic relations. His floor guardians, who act like generals in his army, are used to perfectly foster instability among the enemy's ranks. Ainz always seems to deceive whomever he wants, and he usually gets his way. But that isn't a bad thing necessarily, because there are many moments in the series where your jaw drops. The things he is willing to do in order to accomplish his task will shock you to your core. Let's just say that Ainz doesn't take no for an answer. So the second reason will be difficult to explain, but here it is. Everything in this show has clear definitions. Ainz wants to conquer the world and hopefully find some more players, since he hasn't found any so far, just NPCs, non-playable characters. His main goal is to conquer the world, just like he did in his previous game. You see that this main intention isn't to be nice to NPCs. He treats them just like anyone would in a video game. They are just digital avatars of fictional characters. That's why it is so easy to understand Ainz's mindset. You might think that some of the things he does in the show are reprehensible, and that would be true if it were real life, but it's just a video game. To go along with that clearly defined role he is portraying, Ainz has no problem deceiving people and carrying out his plans with no moral obligations. He can easily say that he will wipe out an entire colony if they don't surrender peacefully, and that's what makes the show appealing, in the sense that you see this ruler who would not do things that a normal person would do. It would be crazy to do that. So yeah, he will take out enemies without prejudice, and the only people he truly cares for are his floor guardians. They are all great too. I think they each serve a very specific role in the kingdom's organization. Now, my only problem with the series, and it's not really a problem for myself, but the problem is that it has an air of bureaucracy to it. In my opinion, that's not a bad thing. Objectively, people won't like this show because it has a lot of organizational, managerial type dialogue, but I find that fascinating. I enjoy listening to careful strategy and planning. It shows that Ainz is extremely competent, which is rare for a main character in anime. At least in shonen anime, where the main character is an idiot. Ainz doesn't usually get outsmarted, but sometimes he is shocked by a person's fortitude. Can't quantify and predict mentality. Other than that, I think this show has something to offer. The second season wasn't the best, and the third season was not really good, but the first season is really engaging, and the fourth season actually made me go past the dub and watch the subtitled version just to finish it. So I was highly impressed by the suspense season 4 managed to squeeze out of the story. If you like isekai, then you will love this show. And if you have never seen isekai before, then I would recommend starting with this one. That's it for the Eagle-Eyed Samurai.